Have you ever felt embarrassed about eating Indian food or food from your culture in front of your mates? Have you ever hidden desi clothes under a big coat so no one at work can see them? Have you ever felt embarrassed about a family member listening to old Bollywood music? Then this is the episode for you. Hello and welcome to Masala podcast. I'm Sangeeta Pillai and this is the Bad Daughter miniseries. What is a bad daughter? A bad daughter is someone who challenges patriarchy, talks about taboo topics, doesn't take no for an answer. And guess what? This season, I'm going to get more personal, even more personal than I've ever done before. Are you ready, my bad daughters?
बेशरम, बदतमीज, गंदी, हाय, bad बेटी.
In this episode, I'd like to talk about cultural shame. West is best. That's what we've all grown up believing. And when we live in the West, we start to associate that culture as better than our own culture. In fact, we start to associate shame with our own cultural roots and heritage. It's not something anybody talks about, but we should. So if you'd like to celebrate your cultural roots, this one's for you. So I want to start by telling you a story. I had just moved to the UK 20 years ago. I'd got my first job in advertising. I was very excited. I bought this entire wardrobe and I kind of turned up to work and I brought lunch with me. I remember putting the lunch into the office microwave. To me, this was perfectly normal. A colleague said to me, "Oh, you're going to stink up the entire office, are you?" I remember this shame that somehow the food that I'd grown up with was somehow stinking, shameful, smelly. After that, I stopped taking Indian food to the office. I started carrying sandwiches like everybody else, which were terrible, but that's how I internalized that shame. Cultural shame is the feeling of trying to fit your vibrant, vast, multicultural identity into a narrow frame. It feels like living in two homes. One filled with loud laughter, ancient music, and deep, comforting smells. The other, a quiet, polished space where you learn to speak softly and stand very still. And the thing is, you never feel fully at home in either home. Cultural shame settles in the gut and on the tongue. It is the fear of being too loud, too different, too much. A great silent grief, cutting off the roots that feed you, believing that somehow you are less than. So I internalized somebody else's racism and it stopped me enjoying my own culture. Have you experienced this too? There's so many ways it shows up. The obsession with white skin in Asian countries, the insistence on speaking English in work or university settings, the shame at eating your own food or wearing your own clothes, children cringing when their parents speak in public with their own language, changing our accents to sound more British or American, as if that's better than whatever we sound like. And there's something else. South Asian folks looking down on recently arriving immigrants, calling them freshies or other derogatory words, as if because their new arrival makes them less than somehow. What's the price we pay for this cultural shame? Well, we disconnect from our deepest roots. We disconnect from who we really are, who our parents were, our grandparents were. And this in turn creates a lack of self-worth, imposter syndrome. We don't think we're good enough. And we get stuck in a loop of perfectionism, trying to be like someone we're not. When in fact, we have so much to celebrate about our culture, so much to be proud of. So how did I work my way out of this? So as I was telling you about that lunch episode, I changed myself completely. I got rid of all my bright clothes. I started to wear these grays and browns like every other corporate person. I stopped speaking my language when somebody from back home called me. I stopped telling people about the celebrations that were part of my life, like Diwali or Onam. I just would never tell them. I rejected a lot of my roots, and now I've gone full circle. I've been going back to Kerala, where I was born. I love speaking the language of the land, Malayalam. I love eating the food. I love going up and down the state. And I really miss it when I don't go back. So I've gone full circle. So now I wear really bright clothes, owning my identity, celebrating my roots. So if you can relate to this experience, whether you're Indian or whether you're from another culture, any culture, you deserve to be celebrated. Your roots deserve to be celebrated. And I've got a few little tips that I found useful. Take a pen and paper. Write down your earliest memories of cultural shame. Did anyone laugh when you were at uni, or you were a kid going to school, at your food, at your clothes, at your celebrations? When you were at work, did anyone say anything to you that made you feel embarrassed? Think about what parts of your heritage you keep hidden from workmates, from colleagues, from the outside world. Then think about how you can slowly bring it back into the open. Visualize maybe wearing something from your culture that everybody says nice things about. Bring it back to the positive, because there's so much to celebrate. If someone does say something negative, well, it's on them. There is a price we pay for our cultural shame. It starts with editing our stories, hiding our beloved foods, apologizing for our accent. There is a slow erosion of our deepest self, our connection with our ancestors. It is the quiet sadness of losing the words that belong to your deepest self. The memory of those who came before you feels distant, like figures viewed through the fog. You know they're there, but you can no longer see them or hear them. There are no words for our cultural shame. The songs that should live in our throat remain trapped unsung. It feels like forgetting our language, the one we were born to speak, leaving us stranded between two worlds. I'd love to read an extract from my book, Bad Daughter. Writing this book was one of the most profound ways that I reclaimed my heritage, that I shut down the voices that told me to be ashamed of my own culture. I've reclaimed all of those beautiful parts of myself, as you'll hear. This was me in a Kerala temple. A few days later, I find myself at Kudirikal, the ancestral temple for my father's family, as if pulled by an unseen energy. It's the afternoon. The temple is closed, but the attendant looks at my face and unlatches the gate. Bright yellow turmeric forms trails below the snake gods. There are fat garlands of yellow flowers and ash mixed with turmeric, piling up in mounds. Thick incense sticks, some still smoking, create a sacred atmosphere. A few banana leaf squares, probably from the earlier puja, contrast sharply in their green vividness against the bright yellow. I keep walking. I see a dark brown nilabilaku, glistening with oil from remnants of many decades. It stands proud and strong with its many levels. I come to stand before a sign that reads Kudirikal Devi. This is the abode of the goddess. I climb the dark steps drawn to her. A golden temple bell hangs to my left. Though the door is closed and I can't see her face, I can feel her. She welcomes me back as if I have never been away. Through the wooden door, I sense her love, her fierce love, and her powerful energy. I close my eyes, hands folded in prayer before the goddess, and then I see her, my grandmother. She is dancing. She has been dancing for hours in this very temple, before this very goddess. Her diamond nosepin glints in the brilliant burning light of 100 lamps. Her grey hair hangs down her back, now matted with sweat. Rivulets of sweat run down her body, some falling to the ground beneath her feet. But she doesn't stop. She keeps dancing. An electric feeling takes over my body. I can almost feel the primal energy bouncing off the temple walls. I can hear the throbbing sounds of the chenda, the drums. I can feel it building up and up and up. I can see my grandmother leaping and swaying and moving to the bouncing beats. I see the blazing torches held by the men, casting terrifying shadows in the darkness. The atmosphere crackles with energy. The women near my grandmother begin their ululations, an otherworldly sound that echoes in the tree. I've never seen this a tullal before, but I see it so clearly in my mind. The age-old dance between good and evil and the drama of sacred spirituality. This is the goddess my mother sees and worships. The goddess Bhadrakali, fierce, ferocious. She terrifies even those who worship her, holding the severed head of a demon that she has just slain. This is not a goddess for the faint of heart. She is full of heat and rage and unbridled sexual power. She adores the color red, dances in blood. My grandmother feels the chenda like a physical force, her body moving through the waves of sound and rhythm crashing. The drums are so loud that they seem to move through every human, every bird, every animal, every tree nearby. Her body jerks and shudders as if pulled by invisible strings. Her eyes are closed, her tears are flowing, her feet are moving so fast that they almost disappear. Then all the sounds and movements seem to crash together in one mighty roar, the goddess merging with the spiritual seeker. There's a sense of cathartic release, and my grandmother falls to the ground gasping. She stays there, unable to move or speak, for a long time. I'm here to do the same as my grandmother, to help women process their pain, transform it into power. I bow my head, hands folded in prayer before the goddess. Her doors remain closed, but her heart is always open. Yes, this is my heritage, and I gratefully accept it. If you enjoyed that extract, you'll love my book, Bad Daughter. It's about my story, going from the slums of Mumbai to the billboards of New York via a healing stopover in Kerala. It's about the pressure that all women face to be good girls. My readers love it. Here are some of the things they tell me. This is the best book I've ever read, says Hattie. This book made me cry, but also made my heart sore, says Archana. Your book made me think of my own inner voice and the stories I tell myself, says Caroline. So go to baddaughter.co.uk or type Bad Daughter on Amazon. Reclaiming your roots is a joyous process that your body recognizes. It starts in your throat, speaking the abandoned language. Your tongue at first, finding it unfamiliar, then claiming the new words like forgotten music. The joy moves to your skin, pulling on the clothes of your ancestors, feeling the texture of the fabric, heavy and real. You are dressed in the memories of your ancestors. They see you, they laugh, they celebrate your homecoming. This journey of reclamation is perhaps the richest when it comes to food. The journey of spices and fragrances, long forgotten, traveling from your grandmother's kitchen and now to your mouth. This is when you realize you are fully home and fully anchored. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Masala Podcast. Come tell me about it. I'm on Instagram as Soul Sutras. I'm on TikTok as Masala Podcast. And if you loved it, share it. Share it with your mum, share it with your sisters, share it with your friends. I've also got a Bad Daughter course on my website on baddaughter.co.uk. Promise you it's fun. Imagine a week in lush tropical Kerala, eating gorgeous food, surrounded by the sisterhood. Welcome to the anti-retreat, where it's all real. Real spirituality, real sisterhood, real Kerala food, real visits to sacred temples. Your money supports local Kerala women, so you'll be making a real difference. This is all part of my retreat in February. Go check out baddaughter.co.uk/Kerala retreats.